Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Thomas Kerr and I am back with a brand new video. I'm setting out on a 3-day backpacking loop. It is the Grafton Loop Trail and it is a trail that I've been wanting to do for quite a while now, and I'm finally getting to do it. It's kind of similar to the last backpacking loop that I did. If you haven't seen that video, you can go check it out. But it was around 34 miles, that one ended up being total, and this one will be around 38 miles, so a little bit longer and a little more elevation gain as well. This trail goes through some very rugged terrain here in the western part of Maine, and it goes through the Grafton Notch and Mahoosic region, so there is definitely a lot of rugged mountains that I will be going over, some of which I have previously climbed and some of which I have never been on before. When hiking this trail, you've got a few different options of how to approach it. There are two different trailheads you can start from, both off of Route 26. I am at the northern trailhead, which is a very popular trailhead if you're doing Old Spec, which is a 4,000 footer here, or Table Rock, which is a shorter day hike that is quite popular in this area. You also have to decide which direction you want to go, whether you're going to go clockwise or counterclockwise. And I kind of went back and forth about how I was going to approach it, but I decided I am going clockwise and I am starting here at the northern trailhead. There's also a lot of campsites to choose from when you do this hike. I think there are about 9 different campsites, so there's a lot of flexibility. If you want to change your route while on trail, you can certainly make some adjustments there. They do ask for most of it that you stay in one of the designated campsites, just because a lot of the trail does go on private property that landowners have been kind enough to allow access to for hikers. I will be starting out here going up the Baldpates, which I have never been up before, and this will also coincide with the Appalachian Trail until I get to the summit of East Baldpate. So I will probably be seeing a little more traffic through there, maybe some through hikers, and the Baldpates are both on the main 3,500 footer list, so I will be able to check both of those off today, which is very exciting. East Baldpate is also on the New England 100 highest list, so I will get one more for my 100 highest while doing this trail. Thank you for joining me today, and let's go hike the Grafton Loop Trail. So right here there's a spur trail that goes over to Table Rock, and it's not on the Grafton Loop Trail, but you could add it on. It would add a mile. You know, it's half mile out, half mile back. I considered it. I'm not going to do it today. I have been up there before, about 5 years ago, but it does have a nice view, whether you want to just come up and day hike it or add it on to your hike. So I'm going to continue up the AT, heading up West Baldpate. It is pretty warm today, and lots of uphill grinds here, and definitely rough terrain, but we're making it. Keep on going. Okay, I know for you, it's been a quick, easy, like 2 seconds since you heard from me, but it has not been a quick or easy 2 seconds here. I have been just putting my head down and hiking up this pretty big climb. And I finally got to the top of this climb. Right now I am kind of up on a ridge now, and I'm going to be able to follow that until I get to the next big climb, which will take me to the summit of West Baldpate. But in the past like mile and a half, it has climbed over 1,100 feet of vertical gain, so that's a pretty hefty upward ascent. And with the heat today and the humidity, it's not easy, but feels good to be up this first big climb and to have a little bit of flat and downhill for a short time before I do the last big climb up onto West Baldpate. It hasn't been a whole lot of things too interesting to see trail-wise. It's been all pretty much the same. There's a decent amount of mud and water, but yeah, check out what this ridge walk is all about. So I'm at the Baldpate lean-to now, not because I'm gonna stay here tonight, but just because I was out of water, and there was a good water source here. So I figured I'd fill up before I do the next big climb, which will take me up West Baldpate. I am about to start that climb, so I'm just going to filter my water and have a quick snack and then head up to the summit. West Baldpate, main 3,500 footers, number 12. So I made it to the top, guys. First summit of the day. The Baldpates are the only two that I'll be doing today, but I finally made it up here, and now the views are going to start, and I'm relieved to have this big climb behind me. I climbed another at least 1,000 feet up from the Baldpate lean-to, so it was a pretty hefty climb, very steep, but the last part was so cool with the rocks and the moss. Very nice section of trail, so that was awesome. The weather right now is beautiful. It is a little on the warm side, but the sun is out. There is some rain headed my way later, more towards this evening, So I'm hoping I can get camp set up before that hits. But for now, I'm going to enjoy the sun and enjoy the good views. This looks like a good place to sit down for a few, have some lunch. Beautiful. There it is, East Baldpate, the last big climb of the day. Time to get moving. East Baldpate, 3,500 footer, number 13, and New England 100 highest, number 69. This summit is pretty awesome. You don't get a complete 360 view, but you can see a lot around for sure. So I am headed for Long Mountain. I'm not going to go all the way to Long Mountain, but there is a campsite shortly before it. So it'll be another 7-ish miles, 6 or 7. I have a good amount of daylight left, although it is getting to be into the later afternoon. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is the possible rain that's coming. I can actually see some out in the distance, a band of rain, but not sure if it's going to hit me where I'm at. That's the only thing I'm trying to avoid. Otherwise, I'm not really worried about getting to camp super early. Just as long as I don't have to set up in the dark, I'll be happy. The good news is it is pretty much all downhill from here. There won't be any other big climbs today, so it should go faster. I'm going to get some miles under my feet, get down off of this mountain, and see where I end up. There's rain out all through there. Yikes. So one thing I didn't mention was the summit of East Baldpate is where I leave the Appalachian Trail. So I am now officially solely on the Grafton Loop Trail, and I'll be on the Grafton Loop Trail for the rest of the hike until I go over Old Spec, and at the very end of my hike I'll rejoin with the Appalachian Trail again. But yeah, from here on out I'm on the Grafton Loop Trail, so the trail may not be as clear, it may not be as well defined, but I think it's gonna be pretty good anyway. This trail is so beautiful. I'm just walking through a fairly open forest, and everything other than the trail is just this green moss, and it's just awesome. It's so like peaceful, nothing but the sound of the light breeze blowing through the trees, and man, I'm loving it. So I'm at the top of a small climb, about 200 feet from the 200 vertical feet from the Baldpate campsite. And after I went by the Baldpate campsite, the trail really got kind of hard to follow. I mean, I didn't really have a problem following it, but it was just very overgrown, and there were quite a few blowdowns as well. But anyway, I got up to this spot. It was kind of nice spot to sit and have a snack. Good rock to sit on. So it's about 5 o'clock now. My goal is to be at camp by 7 o'clock, which for some people probably seems kind of late, but I just don't really like going and setting up camp and then like just sitting around and having nothing to do. So I'm more of a like hike until it's, you know, starting to get dark, and then you know, have enough time to get camp set up, of course, but not have too much extra time. So that's the plan. And apparently there's a snake that lives under this rock across from me, because I looked up when I was eating my snack and he was in a crack in the rock just looking at me. And so I walked over to him and he slithered away under the rock, but then he came back again, so he's probably wondering what I'm doing on his territory. But anyways, gonna keep on hiking and knock out the last few miles. I made it to my campsite for the night. I'm gonna get all set up, get my tent set up, just in case it decides to start raining on me. And then I'll work on making supper, because I am very hungry. Well, I'm pretty much all set up for the night. I'm just gonna head down to the stream, filter some water so I can cook my supper. But this is where I will wrap up this video. Thank you for watching. It was awesome to get over the Baldpates today. Very rugged, very challenging, but the views were so worth it. Make sure to stay tuned for day 2, where I will be doing more miles than I did today. It will be a long day, but I'll be going over several different mountains. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Until next time, stay inspired, stay creative, and I'll see you in the next video. See you later.